What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you to my top 5 disappointments of 2014. It was a hard year for me as a gamer. A lot of games that I was really looking forward to just didn't pan out, at least in my eyes. Now, this is 100% opinion-based, although some of these I guarantee people are going to agree with. Now, the reasons I didn't do, and I already explained this before, but there's reasons I didn't do top 5 worst games of the year. And no, I would say none of these 5 are the worst games of the year. There are plenty worse games. Because these are games that I had some hype for or something, and was just let down in the worst of ways. Some of them pissed me off, but some of them just made me sad. And we'll get into those as we go. First one, and there's a reason I only have this at number 5, because most people would put this at number 1, because as far as what was expected of it, it was probably the biggest flop of the entire year, and that was Assassin's Creed Unity. My gosh, okay, my freaking gosh. Like, okay, now the reason I have this at number 5 is because I personally didn't have any hype for this game. I was actually even more excited for Rogue, the other one, because I knew it was taking our elements from Black Flag. But Unity... Holy crap! Is this game still... I don't think this game's still working. I think it's still broken. This game was released with just the worst of... And I mean, it varied from system to system, too. This game barely functioned. I mean, of course, there are some of the funny glitches, but then there's some of the bad glitches where the game just flat out doesn't work. I mean, I know on PC, it was unplayable at first. Like, you'd play it for 20 minutes on any settings, and it crashed. And... That's just terrible. The only reason I have this number 5 is because I had no hype for this game. I didn't really care, okay? This was not the Assassin's Creed I was excited for. I actually got to see a bunch of this at PAX, it and Rogue, and I was more excited. I walked away from it way more excited for Assassin's Creed Rogue, because Rogue definitely looked more appealing to me. I actually enjoyed Rogue a little bit. But Unity was like, oh my gosh, I did not expect it to be this bad. I really didn't. And not only because of the glitches and the technical issues with it, but it also took a step back in the series. Like, it went back as far as the first Assassin's Creed. Like, it took away, I mean, maybe the second, I guess you could say. Like, even if this game were to be working perfectly fine and not have all these glitches and stuff like that, it would still not be a very good Assassin's Creed game. Because there's a reason Black Flag was so good, and why I think, and I know a lot of people are still clinging to Assassin's Creed 2, but people who, like, open their eyes and, actually think about it, a lot of people consider Black Flag the best one in the series. Why was it the best one? Well, it's because it didn't confine you to this boring storyline and the same old hack and slash third person, just counter everything, fighting mechanics, and climbing crap, and parkouring. It didn't confine you to just that. You also could do the ship sailing. You could go whale hunting. You could go explore hidden islands. You could take a break from the story and go do these really cool side stuff. And then in Unity, they're just like, that was only Black Flag's thing. We're just gonna, 4-player co-op that doesn't work. Here you go. No. That was a terrible idea. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But I think, and they've already got the next Assassin's Creed announced and Victory or whatever, and if they want that to succeed, they really need to find a way to make sure, to give us something else to do. First of all, they need to make sure it works. Okay, that's kind of the most important thing about a game, is it needs to actually function. Take a hint from this game. But you really need to focus on the strengths of your series, and you need to listen to people and what they tell you about your game that they like, so that you can continue to give them things that they like. Okay? Just letting you know. Okay, number 4. This one... And again, this isn't a bad game. Okay, this one's not bad. Okay, this game is not a bad game. But this one makes the list because this was going to be the reason I bought an Xbox One. This is Titanfall. I was really excited for this game, more than I care to admit. But there's a few reasons why. Okay, the Infinity Ward, the guys who made this, They are the original developers of some of the older Call of Duties, and not they're first few Call of Duties are the ones that I actually like. I really like those. They were kind of the ones who were in that transition phase from the Call of Duties I absolutely loved into the ones I don't care for as much. But then after they left, Call of Duty turned into a series that I absolutely despised. Then they were all put together and they were going to be making this Titanfall game. And I was looking at a lot of articles on it, and I was like, and they wanted to make something else and new. And it was like, it was going to be cool. It was going to be really cool. And then it came out, and this was supposed to be the reason to get an Xbox One early in its life cycle. And guess what? I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't very good. I mean, it was very, very mediocre. Like, too mediocre. And it was sad, actually. It was kind of sad. I was like, well, dang. I mean, I was hoping for a really solid shooter and, a fun shooter with some elements to it. And no, it almost felt like it was taking all of the bad stuff. I mean, it almost took everything I hate about Call of Duty right now and made it better, but took none of the good stuff from Call of Duty. Like, it didn't. It felt like it just left all that behind. I was like, what the heck? Now, to their credit, they are working on new IPs rather than sequels to this game, and I'm like, okay, I'm still going to look forward to those games. I kind of want this developer to succeed. I really do. But Titanfall was a pretty bad letdown, and I think that's the only reason it beats Unity is because I actually was excited for this one. I was really excited because Xbox One, I hated the 360. I hated it. But I'm not an anti-Microsoft guy. I was just anti-360 because that was a system that had no exclusives for me to buy into, other than Halo and Gears of War. And I was just like, well, crap. But I loved the original Xbox, and now I wanted to get into the Xbox One because I want to like all three systems. I'm trying so hard to love all three systems for Generation 8, and thankfully they have made up for it, or Microsoft in general has made up for it with Sunset Overdrive, which I really, really, really want to play. That's the only reason it hasn't been on the previous lists. But I'm really, really excited to play that one. But unfortunately, I haven't. And Titanfall, I mean, I want this Xbox One, but Titanfall just wasn't reason enough, not even close, and it was sad. Number 3. There is no game that pissed me off more than this game this year, and anyone who follows me on Twitter knows this. Smash Bros. For the 3DS. Now, we've talked about my issues with the 3DS, okay? Before you hit that dislike button, let me explain my reasoning behind this game, okay? I wanted this game to be good too, honestly. I wanted to. I mean, when this game got announced, I was still at a point where I still loved my 3DS. I was loving Pokemon X and Y when this came out. Freak, I still love Pokemon X and Y. That game's great. I mean, I was into Star Fox 64 3D. I was kind of into Mario Kart 7 still at the time. And, I liked my 3DS. I did like my 3DS. And then they announced this, and I was like, oh, great, I mean, I'll get to play it on both. It's going to be fun. And then as it kept getting nearer, I kept hearing more things about it. Oh, this is the reason so-and-so was taken out of the game. Oh, this is the reason why the Wii U version doesn't have this obvious next-gen edition they could have had, because they wanted to scale it down to the same size as the 3DS. Blah, 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 this and this and this. And aside from the fact that it felt like the 3DS was holding the Wii U version back just because they wanted it to be on par, it just failed. Like, as a fighter, it handles solid. It handles as good as you could have ever expected Smash Bros. To handle on a handheld game. Like, it did it right. It really did. But I felt like no gratification out of this. I felt nothing. I was like, the whole time I was just like, what the hell? What? What is this? I was so mad. I was so frustrated and angry with Smash Bros. And I might have let myself get worked up more than I should have. But that is a game that I cannot bring myself to accept or like in any way. It felt like that game should have never been made. And people will disagree with me, but to its credit, now that the Wii U version's out, who's really playing the 3DS version anymore? I mean, that has a Wii U. Who really is? Not anybody. I mean, if you have a Wii U, you've moved over to Smash Bros. Wii U. You're not playing your 3DS version anymore. Almost no one is. And there's a darn good reason for that, okay? Smash Bros. 3DS was literally just released to tide over people until the Wii U version came out. That's what it ended up becoming. Everyone bought it when it came out, and then as soon as the Wii U version came out, gone. That's it. And for me, that's stupid, okay? I don't want... That's like... That, for me, it seems like releasing the DLC before the actual full game comes out. Okay? It almost feels like 3DS is the glorified demo. And then not to mention some of the stuff that was surrounding it, such as the people paying $50 on eBay for demo codes and just crap like that. I mean, I know it's stuff I probably shouldn't have let myself get worked up over, but gosh darn, Smash Bros. 3DS pissed me off. But it's only at number 3 because it wasn't the biggest letdown because, for what it's worth, it's still a solid game. Number 2. Now, this is by far the one that broke my heart the most this year. And I hate to say this, but Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Let me just say right now, Generation 3, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald are my favorite Pokemon games. I love them. It's my favorite generation and always has been. It still is. When the remakes were announced, I was so ecstatic, especially because with previous remakes, a la Leaf Green, Fire Red, and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I liked the remakes more than the originals. A lot more. I thought they did everything right that a remake should, and they made the game so much more fun. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire gets announced. I'm exploding with just happiness because my favorite Pokemon games are getting remade. I was so happy. So happy. And then, I know, of course, all the stuff that Pokemon's doing, like, the Mega Evolutions, gotta announce all that stuff. Oh, yeah, sure, whatever. And the game came out, and I bought it day one. I bought it, I went, I took it home, I started playing it, I got about to the second gym, I was like, bored. Oh, and I should also mention, I was so excited for this game that the day that it got announced, I went and I spent 12 hours breeding a team for it. Like, some level 5s that I could take through this game. And, anyways. So I played through it, I got to about the second gym, I got tired, stopped playing. Found myself not playing it again for 5 days. Go back to it. I actually made it to about the 5th gym. Stop playing. Another week passes. Go to the next gym. Stop playing. Another week passes. Still haven't played it again. Another 2-3 weeks. Still haven't played it. Finally picked it up one more time. Got to where the 7th gym is. Haven't played it since. I've never been so bored playing a Pokemon game. And, part of me wants to say maybe it's because, maybe it's because I created this team and, I probably should have tried to play it traditionally and stuff like that and blah, 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 just with my own team. And then, there's a couple things that maybe I had done wrong, but the one thing that really just kind of sticks in my mind with these remakes is the fact that it literally feels like I'm playing XY, or Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald on the XY engine. I mean, which is exactly what it is, but it doesn't feel like it improves in any way. It just feels like it's a graphical improvement and a gameplay improvement, but like as far as like actual controls and stuff like that. That's it. It feels so hollow, and it really saddens me. Like, this is the game that I just got sad over. I'm still sad over it. I want it. I want to go and finish it. I really want to, but every time I pick it up, I play for 10 minutes and I stop because I can't. I mean, it's so hard to force myself through this game, and it's sad because I've never felt this way with a Pokemon game before. Even Platinum, even Diamond and Pearl, which I will concede are the worst in the series. Not Platinum, Diamond and Pearl are terrible. Well, as far as Pokemon games go, they're the worst, I think. I still can play through all those in 1 or 2 sittings. Easy. This one I can't do it, and it's sad. I think that's the only thing that puts it below Smash Bros. It's because Smash Bros. I didn't have the hugest expectations for, but I was sort of excited for it. This one I had massive expectations. This was probably the one game that came out this year that I had massive expectations for. And was not met. I guess I could argue Destiny I had massive expectations for and wasn't met, but it exceeded my expectations for some reason on a completely different level that I still can't explain. But this one hasn't in any way. It hasn't fixed anything. It's too grating. It's hard for me to play through. It's my personal thing, but I can't do it. I just can't, and it's so sad. It really is. I want to like that game. I really want to like that game, but as it stands, it was a huge disappointment. It really was. But it wasn't the biggest disappointment. Ugh. Okay. Number 1, and this is probably most people's number 1 of biggest disappointment this year. Now, what I say with Assassin's Creed Unity was the biggest bomb. This one, I guess if you were to scale it based on hype to what it actually performed at, it was as equal or bigger of a bomb. But at least this game wasn't completely dysfunctional, like Unity was. It was still a freaking bomb, though. Watch Dogs. Yep. I still haven't bought this game. I rented it for a while. I still haven't bought it because I don't want to. I wanted to want to buy it, but I can't. It's so nothing. It's nothing. This was a game that you could have done so much with, and they might because I know there's sequels coming out. They've already announced it. It's sold so freaking well. Sequels, and they might turn back on that promise now that the backlash has come through and people are like, not looking forward to the next one. But this game was something that could have been leagues above what it actually was. It could have been a game that explored, that could have been what Shadow of Mordor did, where you had all these different NPCs that all had their different lives, with or without you playing through the game. Different parts of the cities just doing their own thing. Could have been that. It could have been, something that wasn't revolved around you. Just a living city. It could have explored human psyche, with the fact that, you can look these people's records up and you could really delve into who they are and they could completely react differently. I mean, you could have done so many deep things with this mechanic and you blew it so hard. You turned it into Grand Theft Auto with a God mode button. That's what you did, Ubisoft. That's what you did with Watch Dogs. It's stupid. It literally is Grand Theft Auto without the humor, without all the modding, and just, I have a button that can change a traffic light and cause an accident, or I can blow up a steam pipe. And not to mention, why did they downscale the graphics? It was looking so pretty at first, and it's now the game is nothing like what it was shown, even as far as the in-game trailers went. How do you blow it that bad? That game bombed so hardcore. It's really sad, and I'm looking up right now because I actually have a Watch Dogs poster rolled up right there. I was so excited for this game, and it just tanked. It really freaking tanked. In fact, this game was so cool looking that when I showed this trailer to my dad, who has literally zero interest in this game, he was freaking excited. Like, he was like, do you understand how many cool things they could do with this? How many story elements they could bring into this? And he was like, you could like explore the human psyche. I mean, you could really... even he was pumped. He doesn't even play video. He don't like video games. He doesn't care. He was excited. I was excited. Everyone was really excited. And what did it turn out into? The most forgettable game of 2014. Those are my 5 disappointments from this year. You could have different disappointments. Those are mine personally. It's sad. It's really sad. These were games other than Unity, these were games I really wanted to succeed. And they just bombed. But I had my top 10 games. I had my top 5 best games I didn't like. That's 15 games to look at in a positive light. Only 5 to look at in a negative light. It's not so bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed this one very much. And I will see you all in the next one.